What's good, people? It's the Rap Roundtable here. Your boy Jarv, Sincere the Rap Snob, Diddy the Balance, the homie Mace. We just need y'all to like, share, and subscribe when you tap into the videos. We're trying to reach 5,000 subs and eventually 10K subs. And with your help, we could definitely do that. Especially people who watch the videos and don't sub. You watching, we appreciate it. But the subs help us run it up even more. For our people who are already sub, make sure you hit that bell right next to the subscribe option. Pick all. When you pick all, it allows us to feed you what you need to get from us immediately. If you don't hit all, you'll get it when YouTube decides to give it to you. But if you hit all, you get the streams, you get the community posts, you get our regular uploads, you get everything. Hit all, help us run these numbers up, 5K, 10K, build a Rap Roundtable brand. Tap in with us. Peace.
The Rap Roundtable.
Yes, sir, the Rap Roundtable is back, doing what we do. Reaction time. I know when a big project releases, we definitely got to react about it. You know, we've got some complaints about us not reacting to certain albums, but listen, we only react to the big projects, whether it's big on the commercial side or big for the culture. You get what I'm saying?
Statement shit.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And with this project, 10 from Westside Gunn, a curator of the culture, a guy who has driven the underground to the overground at this point.
Talk about it.
It's only right that the Rap Roundtable talks about this project. It's your boy Jarv here alongside Sincere the Rap Snob, alongside Diddy the Balance, alongside the homie Mace. And, you know, it's been a good time for rap. The fourth quarter finally started to pick up the pace. And I'm in a good mood today.
We were supposed to do 2 of these joints today, but one of them got pushed back.
Get
Ice
well
Spice
soon
putting the pressure on these niggas.
Yo, word to Act said that she making people come off their date. I don't know about that.
Wow. I don't lie.
I think it's actually Taylor Swift, but that's not Rap Roundtable talk. You know what I'm saying?
This is not the Pop Roundtable. You know what I mean? But Sincere the Rap Snob, as always, we defer to you when it comes to all things Griselda. Let us know how you feel about 10.
Yes. So I feel like as soon as I pop this tape on, this record, it feels like a tape. You know what I mean? Anytime Griselda, Westside Gunn, you know, put something out, it feels like, you know, it's taking me back to that good old like tape energy, cassette energy in the Walkman and shit. But there was something about when I popped this project on that really, really hit me like right out the gate, right? Westside Gunn, as you said, curator of the culture, right? Putting on for the culture. And I feel like with this tape, right out the gate, right from the intro, he immediately let you know, he gave you that statement piece in the intro, like, this is me, this is what I do, this is what I'm putting forth, and I'm the ambassador of this shit. You know what I mean? Out of the gate, RZA on the track, right? For the intro, not for no bars, but for the intro. To get RZA on an intro track, and then you got A.A. Rashid getting his Papa Wu on, dropping Spoken Jewels, you know what I mean? And we've heard A.A. Rashid before, but there's like some stuff that he said on this shit that just really resonated, you know what I mean? Some of us are here to be far too discerning. As soon as he said that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a bar, that's a statement. Use the sound to improve the quality of your life. And when I heard that shit, when I tell you like the smile that came on my face, because it's like it aligns with like everything that I've been feeling, what we've been doing here at the Rap Roundtable, you know what I mean? The space that we're in, the space that we're covering. And like you said, bringing the underground to the overground, you know what I mean? So it's not such a niche thing anymore, so that more people get to see it and get to flourish from it, right? And so, you know, Westside has, you know, been this curator person, and you know, he's really putting on for the culture, and he's creating this lane. Not only he has created this lane that, again, we've said before, you know, Rock Marcy is sort of the godfather of this shit, but Westside is the one that put the battery behind people's backs, you know what I mean? At the gate, like, I was like, okay, we're in for something here, you know what I mean? Then DJ Drama comes in and gives us that Gangsta Grills feeling, you know what I mean? And then we, you know, I'm gonna pass it off in a second, but the features on this: Ghost and Ray, Mos and Kweli, ASAP Rocky, Busta Rhymes, the producers RZA, Pete Rock, Swiss, Alchemist. Now Swiss took me by surprise. I didn't even when I saw the track list, I didn't even like notice his name. And then like his song Science Class, which is one of my favorite joints on the album, like I was hearing it and I was like, oh, this might be my favorite song so far. And then I looked at the producer and I'm like, yo, that's Swiss, that's crazy. Like it's just it's so much care that I feel like he put into not just this project, but like again as a curator and as being somebody that you feel his care and his love for the culture and putting on for the culture, and not necessarily everything always having the same sound, the same like, you know, hi-fi sound, you know what I mean? Just like represent for that gutter, that good old shit that we grew up on, you know what I mean? And I love it. I love to see it. I'm gonna pass it off. You know, just spin back around to me later on. I got more thoughts.
All right, so Mace, you know, you're kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to the sound and the space. You know, some things you like, some things you don't like, but you're not anything unanimous when it comes to it. So I'd like to hear what your contrast is in comparison to what Sin just spoke about.
Well, that's true. You know, and not only with the sound, but with Westside Gunn in particular. I feel like when I was introduced through you guys to Griselda, like whether you like it or not, it's easily, you know, why somebody would like Benny, why somebody would like Khan. And even with the next generation, with Mac and Stove, and even in Rome to this day, like to me, the appeal is obvious in most of Griselda, you know, but with me, with West, it was always touch and go. It was always like, well, I don't like his voice, or I don't like his flow, or maybe the song structure is different than what I'm used to, you know what I mean? So while at the same time always respecting his curation and just, you know, the Dame Dash / Puffy sugar of it all, you know what I mean? I respect it, you know, but I will say that this is one of those albums where I'm like, okay, I understand. From just like Sin said, from you know, the off-brand Papa Wu with the intro, to, you know, when you first hear Doughboy and West, like that shit goes. Like I from the little feedback I've seen in my little internet forums and on Twitter, that's one of the lesser liked songs, I think, because of the beat, but I was fucking with it. The whole Gangsta Grills feel, Doe was sliding on that motherfucker, you know what I mean? They got a few joints on here that I fuck with. And one thing I'll say about West in general, and this is also respect to his curation skills, is that I feel like sometimes rappers do not do the obvious thing, right? Like, how many times do people say, yo, Nas, get more Primo, you know what I mean? Or Eminem, stop rapping on your own beats. One thing about Westside is that you can tell he listens to what the people want to hear. Like, yeah, we want to hear a whole Griselda joint, that Red Death Gold, you know what I mean? Shouts to Out. It didn't sound like Out, but it sounded as dope as an Out production, if y'all understand where I'm coming from. Science Class, it lived up to the hype. You saw the features, you kind of got nervous, but it absolutely lived up to the hype. Peppers is another joint that goes crazy. I mentioned Shootouts in Soho, you know, so I don't want to, you know, bloviate too much, because we definitely gonna get on 58, and we gonna have to argue about who had the best verse on that Red Death on 58 too. But I'm digging the album. It's early, of course. You know, in you know, I'm the flip flop king, so you never know. But I'm really fucking just like Sin said, it got that tape feel. It got that winter in New York feel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could just rock with it. I'm kind of feeling it like how Dean was feeling the joint that West dropped earlier this year. I'm fucking with this. I think I'm a ride with this one for a little while, for sure.
All right, Deanie, chap in, bro.
Once again, man, Westside Proof is a true showman and a curator of the culture, man. First, I want to give a shout out to Stove God. For his contribution to this album was like immense, man. Every track he was on, he blessed, so charismatic, great energy. We definitely need a Stove album. Just want to throw that out there. Shout out to Rome. Also had 2 verses on the joint. Black. I mean, when I see Rome, I just know it's finna cook. That's Rome staple for me. Like, I just know if I see Rome, it's finna cook. As far as the album, this album was like super New York, bro. Like, this was a New York album. It was cinematic. It was artistic. It was creative. It had boom bap. It had some bounce. I know niggas don't really like the Doughboy record, but yeah, you need a record like that on every album. You need something that's gonna move the people. Like,
you know what? I would be the one to be mad at it. I wasn't even mad at it.
I fucked with it. I thought it was
on it, and Doughboy.
So he can make some money on the internet with. You know what I'm saying? It felt like Westside just told like the whole Griselda, like, yo, everybody just get on this tour bus and about to just take this crazy ride through New York City. I felt like I was on a ride through New York City. I felt like he dipped over to Harlem, scooped ASAP, pulled up to Staten Island, see what's up with Ray and Ghost. You know what I'm saying? Pulled up to Brooklyn, checked Black Star and Busta. Yeah. Even got them Run the Jewels boys to pull up. I actually like the song they're on. I thought Killer Mike Black. Production and bar work, features, placements, energy were all awesome. Everybody showed up who was called upon. A lot of rap legends still got their pen sharp. I was very impressed to see that. Shout out to Raekwon. He's been cooking all year. All year.
Ray and Ghost still got it, bro.
There wasn't a song I particularly did not like. Sonically was dope. It just, some songs were just really, really, really fire, and some songs were just pretty fired. If I do have a gripe, my gripe would probably be with Red Death. I remember the days of old, and there's nothing, no disrespect to the artist. Everybody blacked, but what I want something I could stick to the ribs with a posse cut, bro. Like, you remember we had niggas done start or something, 5-6 niggas on the cut. Played that shit back 100 times. Blackout 100 times. Shit, the Rough Riders Anthem remix. I mean, you name it, bro. There's like 100.
And from TV.
I think it had to be a higher BPM.
There you go. I needed something for everybody who spit. Benny, Conway, Rome, Amani, Stove, West, like everybody, Jay Worthy, everybody was fired, but I want some shit like that. I want to play that shit back over and over and over and over again. I haven't had a posse cut that made me feel, maybe since One Train. I haven't had a posse cut that made me want to spin it back over and over again. Other than that, I thought the album was fire.
I mean,
that might be a topic.
Yeah, I was already sitting here thinking about reworking what we got planned for 58. We're gonna definitely talk about that on 58 with the posse cut. Diddy made a good point about, you know, going from borough to borough and making stops along the way. I'd like to piggyback that and say that what I feel like what Westside Gunn with his success was able to do was to take those legends on a tour of the underground. Yeah, like this is what it is. Like, come see what you've been missing. You know what I mean? Or come see what you've been hearing about, but you might not have experienced it. Yeah. So you go and you get like a Doughboy. You go and you get homie from Gangsta Girls, DJ Drama. You get ASAP Rocky, who don't, you know, you would never guess Pretty Flocka will be on the Westside Gunn album.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Wu affiliation I can understand because of early days of Griselda, the Wu connection was there. But not even Busta Rhymes so much. Not even Black Star so much. To bring these people and take them into his world. And as opposed to, you know, sometimes like Mace said, you know, do the obvious. A lot of times the guys get up and get popular with a certain sound. Once they get on, air quote, they change their sound. They try to assimilate. What he did was, come join me in my world, legend. You know what I mean? Rap on these conductor beats. You know what I mean? Right. Show me what you got. It was almost like, you know, Westside Gunn is so lit as an individual now that he can ask these legends to do what he does, and it doesn't seem like it's out of place. And I think that's the thing that stood out for me. Like, this project, to me, we thought Hitler Hermes Side A was probably the pinnacle of the new Griselda era. 10 might have moved Side A out the way. It's definitely better than Side B. You know what I'm saying? But like this project right here, like it feels good. You know? I like that they put the trappy joint at the top, because when you front to back the album, it's like, where else could you put it without it sounding out of place?
Get it out the way.
Exactly.
Show them.
I honestly think that's how they reeled me in.
Back. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
From then on, I was engaged and I was listening close. I was like, all right.
It's like, okay.
You know, the beats, you know, for a while I felt like Westside Gunn kind of fell into a habit of just like we knew the beat selection was kind of copy and paste. The beats were good, but the sound was what it was. The sonics was what it was. This is probably his richest sounding beat for beat project since probably Pray for Paris. As far as like that, there was just enough gloss to where it was like, oh yeah, I like this, but it's not too much gloss to where I gotta turn this off or I'm annoyed. You know what I mean? I don't know if there was a gauntlet drop, there was a conversation, or like again, maybe he's just paying attention to the space because we see what Nicholas Craven is doing out here with these beats. Then he's like, wait, I need to get over there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love this project. Like I think. Like Sin talked about it in the group chat where it was like, you know, that other guy was supposed to drop alongside 21 Savage, the man who's in the gulag. and personally for me, I'm kind of glad that he didn't drop because I feel like aesthetically it would have been difficult for me to listen to this project and then go have to listen to Gulag. You know what I mean?
Right.
With 40 on the boards. Like it's rare. Coming off of the Gibbs album, like I'm really happy, bro. Like these albums are delivering.
Nice.
You know, like rap got a little funny in the third quarter with some of these albums, bro. You know, and we got in trouble for talking about certain albums because we just felt like they weren't what we needed it to be. BDP to me is fire. Legal Lewis is fire.
Yeah.
Shootouts in Soho was weird to me. The album really got on the freeway. Like, all right, now we just gonna ride out. I disagree with you, Dini. Red Death is immaculate. You know what I mean? It's Griselda in HD.
I'm kind of in between y'all on Red Death.
Okay.
Because I like having everyone on that one cut is crazy, and they came off. But again, it's like for me, for a posse cut, it had like I feel like the BPM, the energy needs to be a little higher. You know what I mean? And again, not to say that the beat was whack or that the bars were whack. I'm just saying as the concept of a posse cut for me is like you gotta get that energy up so niggas could really go in. You know,
especially
what I
a
mean?
10-minute one, bro. Like
attack. And
like
you know what?
Attack. You know what I mean?
You might be right, but I don't think then it wouldn't have been a Griselda posse cut if the BPM.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
I do. Even though there's a super long posse cut, you take that out, the project would have been like, let's say 11 tracks, 40 minutes. I kind of like the pacing because we've been getting these rushed projects where it's like 12 tracks in 33 minutes. Like it's paced beautifully. This album takes its time. It's very meticulous. The last thing I want to say before I pass it back to Sin, who I know has more points, is all this album did for me as well is reaffirm that we need Stove. First quarter next year, summer next year.
Very soon.
We need a Stove God Cooks album in the worst way. I don't know what we got to do. Hey, real quick. I noticed the conductor wasn't yelling that much. I'm just saying.
Hey, no.
He tapped in.
Listen,
there was only 2 or 3 conductors.
I was waiting on it too. I'm not even gonna lie.
The end of the tracks, all of the yelling.
It wasn't too loud either. It wasn't overpowering the records this time.
So let me talk a little bit about my favorite tracks. First of all, let me just go back to the posse cut thing. If y'all remember 98 Sabres on Who Made the Sunshine, that I think that was because that was a Just Blaze joint. That was a high energy, posse cut outro, right? So I was looking for something more like that. But again, not to say it was whack, but just Anyway, my favorite joints. Like I said earlier, Science Class. I think Science Class is the crown jewel of this album for several reasons. One, Swiss on the boards, unexpectedly fitting right in with the Griselda sound. Like, who would have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? You know what I mean? Not me. Never in a million years would I have thought anybody in Griselda would have tapped Swiss for a joint and it would have fit right in. Stellar, right? But also the features, Busta, Ray, Ghost, Stove God, right? Stove God fitting right in with the legends, right? But third, the concept of the song, right? And to me, and I'm gonna digress here a little bit. The concept of this song, like it hit for me, and I feel like for us as a collective, it hit so close to home because it talks about an old friend turned Judas. You know what I mean?
I was trying to be good, Sin.
Song.
Sin, I was trying to be good.
To this song,
the puzzle
like,
connected.
Bro, this song is this should be like the fucking rap roundtable anthem right now, bro. But I think but as a larger point, the fact that it had that concept to it, you know what I mean? The sample that Swizz took with that hook and turning that into the concept of the song. We don't often get concept songs from Griselda as a whole, but mostly from Westside Gunn. Westside really sticks to his aesthetic, his talking shit, his Balenciaga, his fly Coke boy shit, his fly corner shit. But to actually get like a dope ass concept song out of this with all of these legendary features, like this shit, this is the crown and jewel right here. You know what I mean? Peppers, Black Star times Westside. With
that shit went
with Conductor on the beat, and right in my notes, like Josh said, minimal drops. Minimal drops. I was like, yes, thank you, Conductor. Just let the beat rock. We don't need to hear Conductor every 3 seconds. You know what I mean? So
we know you made it.
Yes. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Sin, before you move on.
What up?
Most Def, Yasin Bey,
Mm-hmm.
Insu.
Listen.
Me too. I was very impressed.
But can I just point out also, because I know how y'all feel about Kweli, but don't disrespect Kweli's.
Kweli sounded great on there.
He be black.
Don't disrespect his ability.
He sounded.
Don't.
You know what it is? The quality of personality is making me have a hard time taking rap seriously.
I understand that.
Very true.
I understand that. But Hope said way back in the day, back in 03, almost 2 years ago.
You're right.
You know what I mean? If it, I'd beat Talib Kweli, so respect that man's craft. He came off, Yasin came off, Black Star by Westside, crazy. BDP, we mentioned that. Boom, add that out. Shootouts in Soho, just
super.
That shit is probably my favorite joint on there.
It gave me that feeling, man. I was like, bro, this is like 95, 96 era shit, man.
That shit crazy.
I loved it.
And we never made the connection, but Westside and ASAP Rocky, both fashion niggas. They probably met on the runway, bro.
Yeah, listen. That's word. If I have some gripes, right? One, I know, and that please don't kill me out there for this, right? I know the Westside aesthetic, Griselda as a whole again, and the underground sound as a whole, but Westside especially, he doubles down on the quote unquote lo-fi. I hate the term lo-fi, but that's he doubles down on that sound, and I get it, but I feel like some mixing decisions that could have been improved, particularly so not to say nothing about how the beats themselves were mixed, but I know that, or I can only assume that the majority of the beats, if not all of the beats, were mixed with Westside's voice in mind. And because Westside has such a high-pitched voice, his vocals always cut through, right? But then you get some of the features coming in, and their voice frequency isn't quite the same, so their vocals don't cut through the same as Westside's does. So I wish there would have been a few more tweaks done so that some of the other vocals from some of the other features would have cut through a little bit better. But that's just, me, the producer, engineer, the engineer.
We be needing that voice though.
I'm pretty sure, because this always happens. Cindy's gonna talk about it, and then 2 weeks from now, they're gonna change. They're gonna do the master mix over again.
Say the same shit,
and it's gonna be fixed. Just keep your ear out for that.
Yeah. And there's a lot of heat on this, but I don't know. We touched on Hitler Wears Hermes 8 side A and B. I feel like there was some joints on those albums that were just like knockout blows. Vogue Cover, Hell on Earth 2,
Mariota,
Perry, like I needed Perry, crazy. There was a lot of heat on there, but I feel like the knockout blow joint, I don't know. Maybe I just need to say again. It's very early.
Well,
we haven't sat
well,
with it, so
you made a good point. There were some higher highs on side A and side B. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like front to back, like
As
this
a ride-
body of work, 10 got it. I think that's the trade-off.
yeah.
Because there is no, because I run Mariota at least twice a week, bro. Just because I just go back there because it's really stupid to me. But I see what you're saying with that. This could have had some higher highs. Maybe
And
the legends being on there was the high.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. And a lot of times we have to make that trade-off. You know what I mean? Like for it to be like a great cohesive project. You know what I mean? Maybe, everything rides, in sequence, it rides well, right? But we gotta, sort of trade off some of those, stratosphere joints. You know what I mean?
I'm not mad at that. Any final thoughts on Diddy and Mace?
Now go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, Mace, you good.
Just to add to Job's point, man, Stove God. I never really get to talk about Stove. That's really y'all lane, but I feel like this dude is like if Griselda was Dipset, like Stove is what Max B would have been. You know what I mean? Like if Rome
That's tough,
if Rome is stacked bundles, then Stove is Max B. The charisma, the vocals, the making a song that's unorthodox, but making it sound like some shit that you ride to every day. So I just gotta give Stove his props, man.
And the quotables, man. Backstroke,
Come on.
blood money, and the crack smoke. Bro, the way he painted that picture, bro.
Yeah, it was retarded.
Yo, he's really like if
his mind is different.
If 96 Hove was like a drunken master, it would be Stove, bro. They're really the same person, but one is drunk. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Dini. What your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is pretty much to cap off what Mace just said, man. Someone needs to tell Westside to do what he did for Benny and Conway. He needs to do that with Rome and Stove ASAP. They need to be a unison. First of all, we didn't even give credit to the Stove and Westside back-to-back combo. I thought that was fire. Listening to them rap back and forth is actually really dope to me.
We've only been doing it for the past year, so if we don't do it today, you know what I mean? We've been in front of the line like we need that.
Yeah, it's really like immense the way they did that on the album. Great music, and just keep it going.
I just want to make one final point before we get out of here. Pete Rock on
fire.
What was that? Switches on everything, I think it was.
Oh, that shit went too.
Yeah, but I just want to point out because I feel like Pete Rock can be. He's very vocal about a lot of his opinions, and I think that
Pete Rock was Mac Don't Stop.
Mac Don't Stop, the second to last joint. Okay, yeah. Mac Don't Stop. Thank you. And so I feel like Pete Rock has been vocal in the past about the lack of drums in some of today's beats, especially in the underground, the drumless sound. And he'll be like, yo, how you gonna have beats with no drums? It's not boom bap without drums. You know what I mean? That's the boom and the bap. So to get him on this Westside project on a beat with no drums,
yeah,
that just, and it just full circle back around to what I was saying. It just shows like how like Westside's stamp and presence in the culture, in the scene. And he set out his objective from early on. He let you know what his purpose is. His purpose is to create this lane for motherfuckers to flourish in. You know what I mean? And just do what you do. Stop overthinking shit. You know what I mean? Don't be too discerning. You know what I mean? Let this sound improve the quality of your life.
Right. Yeah, and my last thought would be, he keeps talking about curating. For there's been this time in hip hop where it's like, you just know, like, all right, Sincere want to make an album, or Mace want to make an album, he send emails and back to the beats. And then along the way, they might tweak a couple things to make it work with that shit. Like, you could tell, like, there's been conversations had. Like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I need. Change this, tweak that, take this out, put this in. Like, Westside is not just rapping over beats. His hands is on every aspect of the project, and he might be the Puff for the underground, or the middle ground, the overground. Like, he's really putting the pieces together, and he got to get his flowers.
Facts.
Copy.
You know what I mean?
Shouts to Westside, man.
Hands down. This project is fire. If you haven't tapped in, you waiting to hear what we had to say before you tapped in. Cut this off, go tap in, and then come back.
Into it.
ASAP, right?
Listen in.
You know what I mean? Didi, take us home, bro.
Yo, and I also want to give a shout out to Westside Pootie, man. Every time Westside Pootie do a skit, it's always fire. Shout out to Westside Pootie. Yo, we closing this out, man. Yo, you know who you rocking with? We the Rap Round Table. Shout out to Jar, the point guard. Shout out to Sin, the rap snob. Shout out to Macito, voice of the young people. I am D, the balance of the force. And with our powers combined, we are the Rap Round Table, and we out.
Yes, sir.
Heroes you need.